All right, now let's expand. Okay, to expand, usually you start with something that only has one log, and you want to write it into multiple logs. So let's do B and C. Okay, so let's start with B. We have the top divided by the bottom inside of this log. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up with subtraction. X, y squared, z. That's inside the log, and we're going to subtract from that log 2 w to the third. Okay, now I'm adding parentheses even though I don't need them. The only time you need them is when there's addition or subtraction inside the log. But I'm putting them there so you guys can see what is inside the log. Now, this next step I'm going to do rather quickly. Do you guys know how many logs I'm going to end up with when I'm done? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to end up with 4. And what's going to happen to this 2 and this 3? They're going to be coefficients. Okay, but does every log have a coefficient? The log with the x will not, and the log with the z will not have coefficients. So actually, no, I'm gonna take it slow, and I'm gonna make this agonizingly longer. All right, now there's no more logs to write, but I'm not finished. What am I supposed to do lastly? I'm supposed to take these powers, whenever there's exponents inside a log, so you can take them and drop them in front. They become coefficients to these logs. So our final answer for this one is log base 2 of x plus 2 log of 5 log base 2. Wait, where did my base 2 go? I should have base 2 right there. Log base 2 of y plus, oh man, I'm forgetting all my base 2's here. And then we have log base 2 of z minus 3 log base 2 of w. And that would be your final answer for that one. Now C is kind of confusing because it has these radicals. Okay. Well, the root for this radical is 2. And the root for this one is 4. Whenever the root's not there for a radical, you know it's 2. So I'm going to write this as log base 6 square root of x, y minus, and then I have log base 6 fourth root of z. Okay, now this is what's inside of this log, and this is what's inside of this log. It gets kind of confusing like this. So what I would do is I would get rid of those radicals, and I would make them into exponents. So this is how you would properly do that. Log base 6 of xy, parentheses, raised to the 1/2. Log base 6 of z raised to the 1/4. Now, in order to split these ones up, get rid of this 1/2 first. So I'll put that 1/2 in front, and this 1/4 goes in front. So now my new line says 1/2 log base 6 of xy minus 1/4 log base 6 of z. Now here's the tricky part. When I expand this, guess what each log gets? A 1/2. So the 1/2 gets written twice. So you have 1/2 log base 6 x plus, because it says multiply, 1/2 log base 6 of y minus 1/4 log base 6 of z. And that is your final answer.